Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video talking about how I grew as a micro content creator and how I made over $10,000 in 2024 being a content creator. So to start off with, I want to talk about my follower counts on my platforms just to get an idea of my size as a creator. So on TikTok, I currently have 2,935 followers. On Instagram, I have 1,254, and here on YouTube, I have 195. And these are all platforms that I have used towards my content creation and making money. I have Pinterest, but I have not been able to monetize anyway or even do a collaboration where I get paid for posting on Pinterest, because on there I only have 166 followers, I believe. I'm also on Threads, but again, have not monetized on there. I have 626 followers. I also was doing Facebook, but I found that their monetization program for me was not great, so I don't even know how many followers I have on there anymore. And the last platform that I use to monetize, make money, is my Amazon influencer account platform, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. I know you can have like followers on there or whatever, but I don't know if I have any or how many I have if I do. But the first thing is what exactly I do to make money, to monetize on these things. The first thing is UGC, which is user generated content. I would say that is my main source of income. So if you don't know what that is, it's just making videos, ads, content, whatever, for brands that I do not post on my personal platform. So I either get an email or I apply to them, which I'll talk about later. And then if I'm accepted to the campaign, I do my deliverables, make my video, do whatever I need to do for that. Then they pay me, they use it on their platform. I don't have to post anything. I don't have to talk about them on my own social medias. Yeah. So I would say that is what I focus on mainly to make money, is UGC, as my followings on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, are not very big. I am very much a micro creator on those platforms. So UGC is most important for me and most beneficial towards me making money. The next thing I do is paid partnerships with brands, and obviously that's where I make a video and I have to post it on my personal channels. The main one I do is through TikTok, is where I do most of my paid partnerships because I have almost 3,000 followers. So brands typically will want me to post on TikTok when I do a paid partnership because I have a larger reach on there than I do on Instagram. But I have done campaigns on Instagram for brands before. I love paid partnerships and I love getting to promote products and companies and things I like, but it definitely is less money overall than the UGC, because a lot of times brands want to look at my follower count, my engagement on those things, which I have had videos that do have done very well or had high engagement, but a lot of times brands won't even look that far in. At least with me, they just look at follower counts, and that's what, like, the amount of money I make is based on a lot of times, but not always, because I have had paid partnerships that have made over $1,000, and that sometimes is more than UGC campaigns I've done. It's kind of changing now. It really just depends on what the brand wants, what the brand's budget is. Is it a large brand? That kind of stuff. And then, like I said before, the last way that I make money on social media or through content creation is on Amazon, which is the Amazon influencer program. So posting like the review videos, the photo reviews, that kind of stuff, participating in some different like campaigns they've run, that's like the third way that I make money as a small creator, which I do love. Amazon has given me an easy way to make money, but it's also not reliable, which really none of these things are reliable incomes. But for me, UGC has become my main income, and I have built up a portfolio. I've done lots of work with lots of big brands, small brands, whatever, and so that is for me a reliable way to work, whereas a year ago even it was not at all. Last January 2024, with partnership UGC whatever it was, I only made $134 that month. So doing this full time and making a full income from this sort of work is definitely still a very new thing for me. The third thing that I wanted to touch on is basically how I became a creator, how I get these UGC jobs, how I get partnerships, all that kind of stuff. So what I did in the very beginning when I first started doing this was just cold emailing. I made myself a portfolio on Canva using free features. So if you're looking to get into this, you don't need to spend any money to make a portfolio. Mine was all done on Canva for free. And then once I did that, I wrote myself a pitch to just like a generic pitch to send to whatever brand I'm wanting to email. And that's what I initially did. That got me quite a few jobs, actually UGC jobs in the beginning, but also lots of turn downs because you're just cold emailing brands and some of them don't even ever reply to you or just tell you no. But one of my very first UGC jobs was with Pura Fragrance, which was something that I already wanted to try myself, wanted to spend my own money on, but I ended up doing a UGC job for them, and I got one of the diffusers and a bunch of the little fragrances you put in them. So that was for me a really great first UGC opportunity. Then the next thing that I started doing, and that I still do, but definitely not as much as I used to, was using apps and various sites to get UGC jobs and paid partnerships. So I used to use things like We Sponsored all the time, which initially I loved that app, but it has become awful and I do not recommend it for anyone starting out content creation anymore. And I use, it's called Aspire, to find a lot of paid partnerships, not necessarily UGC stuff, but I want to make a whole video deep diving into these different apps and platforms and talking about ones that I recommend and the ones that I don't recommend. So I will dive more into that in a future video. But then yeah, the last thing that I do is, well, I guess I don't do technically, but I will get brands from emails. As I've progressed in doing UGC work, and I think from putting my email in my social bios, like in my TikTok and my Instagram, I have a LinkedIn with my portfolio on it, all that kind of stuff. Brands get my email from my social media. So a lot of work these days for me comes from brands just finding me. I don't have to reach out to them, which I think is something that has definitely been from putting in a lot of work and a lot of me doing work for other brands, putting myself out there, posting my work, my portfolio, and my email. That is how a lot of work comes in for me these days. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about is when I'm emailing and applying, what I really focus on when I am talking to these brands. So when I'm writing an email and I'm pitching myself, for me, I think short, sweet, to the point is like the best way to, like the best formula for my email. I don't want to, I've seen ones where it's like paragraphs upon paragraphs, and for me, that would disinterest me, and I'm thinking as someone who's reading these from the brand, like, that just seems like a lot. I think just introducing myself, what I do, how long I've been doing it, and maybe even throwing in like just a few like main points about myself, what I bring to the table, and even adding in a few brands that I've worked for has seemed to work really well for me. The other thing is obviously always attaching your portfolio, but really build up your portfolio. Like, I don't know how to describe it, like make it meaty. I have probably like 15 different things that I've done, and I always pick the work that I'm proudest of and making sure I'm sharing work from various different parts of life, like motherhood videos, supplement videos, cooking videos, clothing, showing that I am a diverse creator and that I can do content for all types of goods, services, whatever it is. And then the last thing, when I am pitching or applying or whatever to a brand, I always include social media links. Obviously, I put my TikTok at the top, and then I do my Instagram, and occasionally I add in my YouTube and Pinterest, but it really depends because I feel that YouTube, obviously I have like the lowest following on there, so it doesn't feel as important to put on there. But I have seen a lot more companies and asking for YouTube shorts or even putting an entire long form video for them, so I've added that in more. And Pinterest is an app that personally I just love. It is my favorite social media app, but again, it's not somewhere that I do a lot of or any like paid work or anything like that, so I don't typically include that in my emails or applications. But if you have a very aesthetic Pinterest, or you have done paid work or monetize on Pinterest, then obviously throw that in there. And then this is actually the last thing that I want to touch on, is trying to find an agency that specifically helps you find paid partnerships or UGC work is really great. I didn't really know much about this until I would say like August or September of 2024. I knew that these were a thing, but I didn't assume, unless you had a very, very large following, that you would ever be part of one of these. But I got an invitation to be part of an agency called Batch. So periodically they will directly send me UGC work, just ask me if I want to do it, and then if I accept, I immediately have the job. To me, this is one of my favorite ways to get work, because typically the pay is very good and they are very clear, concise, straightforward of what is wanted, what the company expects out of you, and exactly what you need to do. They will even include like hooks, call to actions, all that kind of stuff. So in my opinion, it makes the work so much easier compared to some of these companies that don't really outline what they want and are not clear and concise in their briefs, and you're left kind of guessing what exactly to do. But definitely look into UGC agencies and that kind of stuff to find work, because once they hire you one time, if you perform well, you know, do your content, whatever, typically they are going to come back to you again and again with more work, and it's only going to, you know, lift you up in that world and highlight you even more. So yeah, that's basically all that I have to say. It is a great thing to get into, content creation in general. I absolutely love it. UGC has like really, I would say, changed my life so much. It's giving me a way to make money while at home with my kids, and then I'm doing something I actually love doing. So yeah, if you've been thinking about getting started in UGC, content creation, any of that kind of stuff, just go for it. You never know. You always think that, oh, not me, I couldn't do something like this, but really, yes, you can. If you have a phone and you have the ability to create videos and do stuff, you can do this. Really, anyone can do this. And it's such a great job to have, and as you build up, it becomes a really good paying job. So just go for it.